Thursday, February 22nd, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. A few minutes after 10 o'clock California time on a whopping big, strong up day in stock market indexes. We have new highs for the whole trend and basically high and last right now on the March E-mini at 5,067, up 90, almost 91 points. Huge up day. In fact, think about this for a second. We were down yesterday to a low of 49.60-ish. 49. We're at 50, 60-ish. That's a huge move in just 24 hours. Maybe too much, maybe not. If it stays here and or climbs some more, we have another leg up that we have just started, fairly obviously. But the danger here is that it fails, closes below previous highs, which would be back below the high made on February 12th, or worse than that, lower than that. That would not be good. That would be punching out all the buy stops above the market, making it look great for a few hours, and then by the end of the day, failing fairly decently. Anything worse than that is just more bearish. But I don't see that. It's not happening. We're high and last. The 1 minute chart shows us on the March E-mini that we are right up here at the high of the day, way up above the two last important highs. And it started late in the day yesterday, about California time, a half an hour before the close. So the E-mini has just screamed higher, new highs. It's not that I'm abandoning my bearish expectations about a break. It's just that I'm not getting what I expected in terms of the price action, but I don't like what I see if I was trying to be a lot more bullish immediately. This is not what I would have expected. Next chart is the NASDAQ March futures contract, which we did get a sell signal on Friday last week. Now, this did trade a little bit on Monday, the holiday, where it basically went sideways to a little bit higher, very dull day, mostly a holiday. Then it dropped off very sharply on Tuesday and followed through early on Wednesday yesterday. So there was plenty of elbow room for my ER1 overnight position to make some money, which it did. This is the trade with the particular inputs that I used. I think it was a 4.5 kicker, which tells it how fast to move the stop, which is not a moving average. It's got two different, one momentum kind of a thing, and another one is price movement kind of thing to move the stop almost every minute sometimes. Sometimes not even at all in a day. But this obviously, the stop moved down, and that's the stop line, and boom, got hit before the close on that sharp rally yesterday. And wow, am I lucky that got hit. I'm not short anymore. And it was a profitable trade for 3 days. Next, here's that trade in detail on a 5-minute chart. As the market made the bearish engulfing, we got short on Friday, closed with a small profit. Monday's sideways move wasn't anything interesting, and the stop stayed the same all day long. But then it started to drop price-wise, and obviously my trailing STS, smart trailing stop, on Tuesday. And yesterday, it dropped enough during the day until the last half hour to bring the stop down even further. The first big rally just barely got me out of the market. Then there was a wild few minutes and a big move up to the close, and I'm not short anymore. Wow. Next chart. A longer-term bond trade from the bottom of the market back on October 23 with a very slow version of the STS smart trading stop. Raised stops automatically and finally took a profit there. But what's happening right now? Well, we have a minor new low, and that's since, about December 5th, 2 months and a fraction. It's not really staying there at the moment. It's currently back up above the lows of the previous 3 days, and the last few days have had the same low almost exactly. 4 out of 5, it looks like. And today, a new low, but it's bouncing back, kind of like a ping pong ball being pushed underwater, and you let go and boink, back up again. We could be looking at the very beginning of a small rally. I don't trust it. I don't think it's going to go a lot higher that fast. But if I was to have a bullish engulfing, I'd be a little bit more optimistic about more strength. Next is 10-year notes. They're doing almost the exact same thing. Same kind of commentary. Next, we're looking at crude oil. Well, right in a resistance area at the previous high made a few weeks ago. Perfect spot for it to turn down. Not quite overbought, though. Maybe there's a little bit left to this. I'm thinking it's just about ready to turn down. Next, oversold conditions a few days ago started a little rally. First minor resistance area was reached yesterday, even the day before that. And now we're having trouble right under that first blue resistance line. Maybe we still got enough strength to get up to this one, but I don't trust any rally at this point. There's no particular bottom being built that I can see. I think we're going to continue to see the natural gas dribble off slowly but surely. Next, heating oil. I may have to say the same thing in a few weeks if it comes down to here and can't hold and starts to break down. Right now, I think there's a pretty good chance it is going to come down there, but I don't know if it's going to hold or not. If I get down to support areas and I'm oversold at the same time, which looks likely in this case, then I would be inclined to say it's going to bounce. If it takes a while to get into support and you're not particularly oversold at that point, it could slide through it and break it. They don't always do what they're theoretically supposed to do. Gold bounced off support pretty nicely a couple of days ago in oversold conditions. Fine. Now, did we see the rally high? We've got a bearish engulfing starting. It's not overbought, so I'm not getting a signal out of this, but that implies it's going to start heading back to support on the downside again. This time around, it probably is going to make a nosedive well into the support and maybe have a significant bearish breakout. Next, silver is very much the same, and we are in the support area. Rallies didn't hold very well. New lows for a few days. I look for the bottom of the support area to be tested again, and maybe this time around it won't hold. Third time's the charm. Broke below it twice before, basically, but that managed to stay okay and pop back up. I don't know. I'm getting less and less optimistic about big bull moves at the moment. Platinum, I got to say the same thing. Major support area above the market stopped it 3 times, and we came all the way down to the next major support level. So far, it's held, but the highs on these last couple of rallies are lower than each other, which pressures the market into new low ground sooner or later if that persists. Next, copper. Rock in a hard spot. Resistance has stopped it pretty accurately. Support has held on for, well, since last fall, and even earlier than that. Sorry, going back to May of 23. They don't always continue to work forever. They, sooner or later they tend to be broken. No comment at the moment, except we're between support and resistance. We're now in a support area, and at this moment, for soybeans, for the first time in a very long time, we are seeing 1155.75 on this continuation contract. And the last time soybeans were down to that price level was January of 22, 2 years and a month ago. We stay here on a closing basis below all these other lows of major importance, and you basically have a long-term super bearish long-term breakout. We need to stay below these previous lows. Any rally that occurs from this point on should be short-lived and hit resistance, maybe the same support area we're just now moving down out of, I think it looks like. But that's the way it should work. We're right now low and last and just barely below that support level. It could pop back up before the close. If it doesn't, everything I just said looks real bearish at the moment. Meal, soybean oil, sorry. About to do the same thing, I'm afraid. How far back does this go? quite a ways. The data that I got loaded only goes back about 3 years, 2.5. So yeah, I don't have anything to say that's bullish except maybe wheat. You'll see that in a moment in the grains. Next, long-term support is being challenged. Last time it made major new highs in soybean meal. It didn't stay there. We're all the way back down to support levels, which I think are going to get broken, and we're going to see a bigger, longer-term bear move in meal. Let's see what happens. We got corn, very oversold at 13-14 area, breaking a major support area, but not by much. And again, it could pop back up again. We saw something like this on beans. I think it was beans. And you are at a spot where it could flip-flop very quickly and easily and generate a really great big buy signal for me. It ain't happening yet. It did happen exactly that way back here on September 10th of 21, which did begin an incredible bull move, ending in a head and shoulder top. But anyway, will that repeat itself? Well, first of all, I got to get a bullish engulfing ER buy signal, obviously. And that ain't happening yet. We have a little bit of time. If we stay oversold, it could happen at any point. Keep your eye on this. But if you don't start to get up, you don't start to rally, you don't start to have a bullish engulfing, you don't start to challenge the high of the trading or resistance area, which now that we're under that, we could call it resistance. Otherwise, you would have called it support. Then it just, what can I say? It's about to fall apart, I think, or flip-flop real quick, and I'll scream bloody murder. Next, we did get a buy signal on wheat on Tuesday. It started to go up some yesterday, just fine and dandy. Today, it rallied even more, and the particular strategy I got running at the moment was able to get out with a profit on the rally, and now we're trading right back down here around where it opened and a lot lower than where we bailed out. So that was a short-term trade of 3 days. And what can I say? Good. Next, cattle in resistance, still having a problem, and we are having an outside trading range today, but it is not at the moment. Well, yes, it is. I'm sorry. The current quote is now lower than the previous close, therefore down 0.90. That is going to be an outside down day, and I think it's topping out in a resistance area. The rally high didn't quite cause an overbought condition. We actually got up to 74.92. Ha! So close to my 75. If it touched it or went above it, I would have a red bearish engulfing just like this one over here, which did lose a little money, and like this one, which also lost a little money. But third time's the charm, maybe, at resistance on top of that. I like what I see in terms of being bearish. I'm just not getting a red because of the RSI not quite getting high enough, and turning bearish. Next, heating oil. No, hogs, sorry. Bumped against resistance super accurately today, rally high, top of the wick. Stopped out right there before and a few times before that at very, very close to the same prices. So far, we're still higher on the day, but we are now totally in overbought condition. So I'm thinking it's going to stop rallying very soon. Maybe today's high is it, and it might just get a little bit above today's high, but in the next few days, topping out, I think. OJ, we did have a great sell signal about a week and a half ago. Excuse me. It dropped like a rock for 3 days, allowed us to bring our trailing stop down considerably, and we were out a few days ago. And then it got oversold and rallied. Great. But the rally starts to fail here 2 days ago, Tuesday of this week. We're now already more than halfway down to the lowest low. It looks like my sell signal might be much more profound, much longer term. And if you didn't use quite a fast moving stop, you probably could sustain this rally without getting stopped out. Kind of scary. I mean, I don't like giving away that profit in order to find out that I might be right for a bigger one. Theoretically, you can get back in again if you know how. I didn't get a second signal. But I also have to point out that we did get a signal at the top of the market to the exact day and the top of the market to the exact day on the first shoulder high. This ended up being a shoulder, the head, and the last shoulder was a bearish engulfing. Unfortunately, not overbought, so no, sell signal. Next chart. Cocoa. We should be having a new red bearish signal. Momentarily, it is trading just barely at a false signal level. I think this is going to turn into a brand new bearish engulfing ER sell signal. Keep your eyes on cocoa. I thought we had an exhaustion blow off top a week and a half ago. It did go down for a day or two. Then it started to run back up this week, new highs. But now I think we have another bearish engulfing coming up. It'll be red. Next chart, coffee. Pennant formation starting at a resistance area. Look at the highs of the wicks, I meant the bodies, in this last couple of months. That resistance area just stopped it based on the closes. Although during the day, the wicks managed to pop up into the resistance, but not through it. That looks bearish to me. And today we're down a little bit, not a lot. Let's see it break below 160, 181, 182. And then I'll be a lot more bearish immediately. Next, we got sugar to sweet, new lows, new low close for a month and a half-ish. We got a sell signal during the top, but it wasn't, it was a small short-term profit, but it wasn't the high day, which I like a lot. The original development of the strategy was to pick major market turning points and minor, but sometimes these signals are developing during and not the highest high or the lowest low. And of course, you've seen lots of them where it was the highest high and the lowest low, which is great, but it doesn't happen that often. Here we go. Highest high, cotton, a few days ago, dropped sharply yesterday, a couple days ago, and allowed our stop to come down real fast during the day. It moves almost every minute sometimes. Depends upon a couple of major factors. And we took a profit. So now we're out and it's popped back up again. It's been in this support or resistance area and now trading above it or in it and now trying to move out of it to the upside again. This could turn, I'm not sure. I'm going to wait a day or two. Next, we got back to the E-mini, which is incredible. We just can't stop going up here. Whatever fundamental news happened this morning, fundamental news, the market loved it. I have no idea what the news was. I'm not a news guy whatsoever. I'm not a fundamentalist, but obviously something happened that was really good. Or at least the market took it that way. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a great trading day. Profitable trading to you.